Welcome to Your Signal, where we explore the stories, turning points, and defining moments that shape a person's life and purpose, and the signal that moves them to make a difference in the world. Because at every moment, we are guided by signals within us and around us. And when those signals are clear, aligned, and in harmony, we don't just move through life, we step into it with purpose, energy, and the ability to truly amplify our brilliance. Sheyenne, welcome. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's a delight to be here.
Cheyenne, you are an architect, not the usual one, but an architect of the healing on purpose. The healing on purpose architect. Wow. Could you share your backstory, your story, your pivot point? What was it that drew you into this beautiful world that you have created and are sharing with others?
Wow. Well, it's interesting because I actually believe there was three significant pivot points that kind of evolved and built one on top of another. The first was all the way back when I was in high school, because I was valedictorian in my class. I lost a good friend to suicide
Oh,
and was watching a lot of my friends go off to college to study what very well-meaning parents wanted them to study. I did my valedictory speech and called it Follow Your Heart. So I
mm,
knew way back then that I was all about helping people to discover purpose, rather than just following the money trail, which is what we're basically taught to do. So that was the first part of my journey. And then many years later, after going through a couple of major corporate layoffs, I had another one of these pivot points where I was at the end of my rope because I'd been in job search for over 6 months. I wasn't finding anything. I finally got a job offer, but it was a long ways away from here. It made me feel sick to think about taking the job. And
mm.
I was sitting there cooking dinner one night, and all of a sudden it was like a lightning bolt hit my head. And I could hear this loud voice in my head, and it said, "Be a consultant." And I remember going, "What?" Because that made no sense to me. I knew nothing about entrepreneurship. Nobody in my family was an entrepreneur. I could not imagine doing that. But it was interesting because 3 weeks from the day I got that crazy idea, I landed a 6-month consulting contract. So
Wow. Clearly not a
absolutely,
corporate person, right? It just landed there. You got the idea and you grabbed it, right? You embraced it.
I did. And it was really that turning point that led me down the path of I ended up becoming a recruiter, a technical recruiter. And during that time of working with lots of people who were stuck in unemployment, I created a class called Find Your Song and Sing It, finding or creating work you love. And so
Love
that
that.
that is a core piece of who I am and what I'm all about. But the third piece didn't come until about 9 years ago. And I wish Giovanna was here because she knows this story well. My husband and I had been given a vision that we needed to go on the road, and we weren't quite sure how we were going to get there because my husband was in severe pain at the time. He'd been through a hip
Mm.
replacement, hadn't gone as well as he would have liked. It kind of skewed his whole body where his other hip started hurting more, his knees were hurting more. They wanted to do all these replacements. He said, "Heck no." And I was literally on my knees going, "Okay, God, you gave us this vision. My husband's in pain. He's depressed. I'm depressed. We ain't going nowhere." I said, "So you better have a solution for us." And interestingly enough, a gentleman reached out to me very unexpectedly on Facebook. And this was just a few days after being literally on my knees. And he said, "Cheyenne, I don't believe we've ever met, but I feel like I need to hear your story. Here's my phone number. Call me. And I'm like, who the heck is this guy? Whoever on Facebook asks to hear your story. It don't happen. So I called him. We talked for 2 hours and he said, Cheyenne, you don't have a choice. I'm jumping a plane from Dallas. I'm coming to Raleigh and I'm going to get your husband back on his feet and I'm going to get you guys on the road. That was 9 years
Wow.
ago.
And he did that, did he?
He did that.
And so your prayer was answered. And
Absolutely.
and tell us about your husband. Any more body parts replaced?
No, no. In fact, I don't know how many miles he walked today. It had to have been 4 or 5 at least. And he has had no more cortisone shots. He has had no more surgeries. He's done very well. And he's 76 years old, and most people don't believe he's that old.
Hmm. And chronologically, maybe, but biologically,
That's right. That's
so
right.
much younger. So tell us the secret. What did you discover when this gentleman flew over who you didn't know and changed your life and your husband's life?
Wow. He taught us so much. It was really amazing because one of the things that we're not educated about a lot, and I know we're also aware cellular health is something we're not educated about, but the other piece for us ended up being learning about minerals. Because there are no
Mhm.
minerals in the food we eat anymore. I mean, our soil has been stripped. There's nothing there. So if it doesn't get into the food, it can't get into us. So you can eat
True.
clean, you can eat organic, but if you're not supplementing, you're not getting minerals. So minerals are some of those important building blocks for the body to be able to do some of its own repair work. That was the main thing he taught us, and it made a huge difference for us. But he also taught us a lot about trauma and how trauma affects the body, and how trauma, emotional trauma that gets caught in the body becomes part of making it difficult for our body to do its healing work. So he taught us a lot about that as well, taught us a system that he actually developed on his own on how to help us release that trauma from the body. So you get good
Mhm.
minerals, you release trauma, and you get the cells functioning properly, and healing does happen.
Healing does happen, yeah, and trauma can really block that, right? So, what were you taught about trauma? Were you taught to somehow have release patterns or to forgive? What was it that can you in a nutshell give us some gems here?
It's a bit challenging because what he did was he traveled the world. He's actually internationally known as the water doctor. And so he traveled the world working with holistic practitioners of all kinds. And so he basically took pieces of all these different processes and put them together into his own healing system. So for
Mhm.
us, part of it is using points on your face to be able to access acupuncture meridians, and then
Mhm.
part of it is tapping on different parts of the spine, and basically instructing the subconscious to bring forward any memories of trauma that it's ready to release. And so, I mean, these sessions that we do can take easily 90 minutes. And, sometimes we're able to do a whole lot really quick, but sometimes there's stuck trauma. And so we get into trying to help people identify what that stuck trauma is so they can let go of that as well. And it's really doing the tapping and having them doing some breathing at the same time. And it's amazing. I've seen people go from being so depressed that they were seriously having suicide ideation to an hour and a half later giggling like a little girl and finding a whole different
Oh,
world that they could move in. So it's a powerful process.
and so rewarding, right?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So
Absolutely.
rewarding.
That's what I love is having, different tools in the toolbox for helping people to be able to figure out how to heal body, mind, and spirit so
Mhm.
that they can live in their purpose, hence the healing on purpose architect.
Yes, I see that you did need to bring multiple pieces together to be the architect of healing on purpose. And
Yes.
I'm so curious. You do this, all of this from your RV. You are an RV. You and your husband are RVers. And I think all of us would love to hear about the RV life. Can you share? You got a business. You're no more corporate stuff. You're doing your own thing. Architect of the healing and purpose from your RV. Do you follow the sun or what is it you do? How do you do this?
Well, it involves looking for more of those signals because
Ah,
we were given the vision. We were given the vision in like 2009 that we needed to be on the road, and we knew it was for a much higher purpose. It's not to be retired or to just go out here and goof off by any stretch of the imagination, because we do a lot of community development work too. So the challenge for us is always people are going, "Where are you going next?" And we're like, "We're still waiting to hear."
and then what is it like? You pack up and go, well, there's nothing to pack. You're ready to go, right?
Pretty much. I mean, we still have to get the RV ready, to lock everything down so stuff doesn't fly all over the place and all that good kind of stuff. But yeah, we can get up and move pretty quickly most of the time because my husband drives the motorhome, I drive the car behind, so we're not even messing with the tow dolly or anything like that. And we've been on the road for 7 years now, and it has been an incredible adventure in many ways. We've been all over the eastern half of the country. We really haven't been any further west than Dallas. And that was to go meet with our mentor that taught us about all this healing. But beyond that, we've been heavily in Tennessee and Virginia and North and South Carolina and Georgia and Florida. And we're typically in Florida in the winter, because my husband is quite emphatic that as long as his house has wheels on it, he does not need to see snow.
Okay, I would 100% go along with that one. So that you brought up another beautiful point is that you and your husband are partners not only in marriage and in RVing, but in business, right?
That's true. That's
Share
true.
about that. Please share about that.
Well, we've been working together for a while now, especially the last 20 years, in quite a number of ways. So, he was a lot of the reason that I got more engaged in the health and wellness space. And, his story, with his hips and his knees and stuff is a big part of everything that we do. He also can do the same healing process I can do. So what a beautiful thing. We're able to work on each other, right? And
Bonus.
so we both are able to do those things. And then when we're out here doing community development work, because we've done young entrepreneur programs, suicide prevention programs, we've worked
Wow.
with people in homeless shelters, we've been involved in teaching them about highway construction. We have done so many crazy things in the last 7 years. And so he's always there with me, helping with those programs and doing those kinds of things. So right now, we're hot on the trail of trying to find a campground where we could be able to purchase it and use a portion of the campground as a place to house people, heal people, and educate people in entrepreneurship and in the trades. So he's doing a lot of that groundwork right now, looking for places and trying to decide what would be a good place for us to target.
So very, very practical solutions you bring to the table and into your healing on purpose architecture, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that lives can
Absolutely.
physically, substantially be changed. I want to welcome Giovanna. She's here. Giovanna, it's good to see you here.
Hi,
Um,
everybody. Thank you.
good to see you. Um, so Cheyenne was just talking about all the pieces of her life's puzzle. And we're wondering if you have a question or some thoughts before we draw to a close.
Yeah, I see that. It sounded like you hit all the points that we discussed, and to bring to light all the things that she and Don have been, the endeavors that they've been working on, and that their goal. Did you talk about your signal and where it began?
With my valedictory speech back in high school, yes.
Oh, all right, good. Because that was a new one for me when we were talking. I did not know that about her. So, yeah, everything seems to be rooted in that, and then they're just moving on from there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so
Beautiful.
wonderful.
Absolutely.
So we've been hearing that you talk a lot about puzzle pieces. Can you?
Yes.
Yes, I'm so intrigued. And could you share with us once again that the Cheyenne approach to life and wisdom regarding puzzle pieces?
Absolutely. My husband and I both, we have a very spiritual perspective on the world, and we both believe that every one of us was born with a puzzle piece, and it was given to us by the Creator. And if we were all busily building our piece of the puzzle and finding other people to integrate those pieces of the puzzle together with, then we would be living in a world with ultimate health, wealth, and peace for all. And the fact that we're not seeing as much of that as we would like to right now just says there's too many people sitting on their puzzle piece. So,
Mm.
really, our philosophy is you need to stop sitting on it, figure out what it is, and get busy building. And if you need help, we're here to do that.
So beautiful.
I love it.
So beautiful. What a world it would be if
Hmm.
we could take that kind of action. And so you actually, with all of your projects, you are helping people to do that, just figure it out, discover it, release the trauma, and become healthier in mind and body and soul, and then step out in life with their purpose. Is that?
Absolutely. That's a great way to put it, because the bottom line is that, there's too many people who are sitting and waiting for somebody else to fix things. And our belief is you all are the miracles we're looking for.
Right.
And I think Giovanna and I both agree, don't you, Giovanna?
That I definitely agree. In the passion of the four of us, even Emily is on a wonderful journey here with us, and we appreciate every all her expertise and bringing this to the world. And I was going to ask, Cheyenne has her number there, so if anybody wants to reach her, you can call her number there on the screen, because
Absolutely.
she has a lot of puzzle pieces and some tricks in her basket that she likes to share with people. Yeah, because
True.
it's
That's
not only one way to do these things. It's yeah. So good. I'm
true.
glad you put your number there.
Good. Are there any
Yep.
other ways you would like people to get in touch with you, or LinkedIn
Well,
or anything?
LinkedIn, Facebook, I'm there, no fancy stuff, just my name. And luckily it's a unique enough name. Most people can find me. Just got to
Mhm.
spell it correctly. But also my website, which is CheyenneKreamer.com. If people go there, they can actually get access to a free introductory webinar about my Find Your Song and Sing It class.
I
So
Good.
love
that's
that.
for free if anybody wants that. And one other freebie, we're trying to get more people to read our book, which is called Skip the Politics and Create Heaven on Earth. And if they go to Unity for Wellness and Peace.com and just join our newsletter at the bottom of the page, then they can automatically go to a download for that book.
Fantastic. So we'll work with Emily to put those details in the links in the comments below the
Perfect.
broadcast
Mhm.
on YouTube and on Facebook. And good. I think as we come to a close, Giovanna and I want to leave you with this thought about your signal and about the trillions of tiny signals that your cells are creating and sending every second.
Absolutely.
They are.
Because of these signals, your cells know when something's damaged, where attention is needed, and how to begin repair and renewal. At every level of our being, we're living from signal to signal. This is reality at the cellular level of our body. And that's what Giovanna and I are very committed to bringing to you, to understand that redox signals are part of the communication network that helps cells function, adapt, protect, and work together in harmony. And all those minerals that Sheyenne is offering, they need the cells need to be signaled that minerals have arrived. Let's go use them. So it's wonderful and beautiful to create our creation.
Co-creation.
We invite you to learn more about your signals for health in our Wednesday Wellness Workshop, and we'll put that link in the chat also. So I want to thank Sheyenne for sharing such wise words of wisdom, and for Giovanna for making this show happen today. And we say till next time. This is your signal.